Welcome everyone, this is Rohan Phanse from Paly Python. We're a programming club dedicated to teaching people how to code. And this is Learn Python, our online course designed to teach you Python through fast, easy to follow videos. So let's jump right into it. Lesson 1, Introduction to Python. First of all, what is programming? It's creating a set of instructions for the computer to execute. Let's explore that in our abstract example. We can tell the Python logo to draw up, down, left, or right. How do we make it draw a square? The solution is we create a list of instructions to be executed chronologically. Okay, so first our Python logo will draw up, then it'll draw left, then it'll draw down, then it'll draw right. What we should keep in mind is that these instructions are executed chronologically. Only once draw up is completed will it go to draw left, and so on and so forth. And that's how Python operates. What is Python? It's object-oriented, it's interpreted, and it's a high-level programming language. And if you don't know what those terms mean, that's okay, we'll explore them here. These are the features of Python. It's easy to learn and code. Easy to learn, it has a readable, straightforward syntax. And code, you can usually code what you want in relatively few characters. It's not very verbose like some other languages. It's object-oriented. You can create your own objects in Python. And I want you to think of an object as something which has properties and methods. A car has the properties of model and color. Like my car could be red and it could be a BMW. And then its methods are things that it can do, like drive, it can brake, etc. So we'll explore that in classes. But it's a huge plus for Python because it can create objects. It's high level, so low level languages are very similar to the CPU instructions and machine code. Higher level is several steps above that, meaning that it has usually easier syntax, more straightforward, but that does come at the cost of memory and speed. But for our purposes, Python is a great language to use, and it's a great language for beginners to learn. It's interpreted also. So compiled means that it essentially means all of the code is read and then it's all executed. And then interpreted means that each line is read and then it's executed. So Python is actually, it's interpreted for our purposes, but it has a compilation stage. It's compiled to bytecode and then interpreted. But yeah, it has a large standard library. So there's all of these built-in packages and libraries that you can use. Libraries are code which have functions and methods, and they just make your life easier because you can use them. Like there's the time library where you can get the time random. It helps you pick random numbers. So just think about it. Instead of coding your own algorithm to determine pseudo-random numbers, you can just use the library. And finally, it's dynamically typed, which let's explain here. So in other languages, you have to declare what type of data type the variable is. So like I could put int number 1 equals 20, but Python's dynamically typed, so that's determined at runtime. We don't have to explicitly say, oh, this is an integer, which is a cool feature about it. So in this program, I don't expect you to understand the syntax, but just follow along. So we're creating a variable called number1 equal to 20, and a variable called number2 equal to 10. And we're going to print, which is outputting to our terminal, sum, and then number1 plus number2. And as we expect, we get sum 30. That makes sense, okay? Finally, for today's lesson, let's look at Replit. It's an online IDE where you can write code in the browser, so you don't have to download anything. It's a great way to get started. So I'd like you all, if you haven't already, pause this video, okay, and then create a Replit account. Once you do, click this blue button in the top right corner, plus new REPL. And let's select Python as our language, and then give it a name, like lesson 1. Cool, we've created a REPL. So, what can we do with it? We can, for example, take our code example here. You guys can just write this, or just, like, for example, this code example, and we get sum is 30. So we have a text editor here in our IDE, and we have this run button, which will run it in the terminal here. So something you can quickly try out is print your name. So I can print Rohan, and it'll get outputted there. So that's REPL. Also, you can share, this link is shareable. So let's say we post a link to our videos, to code in our videos. You can click that and you can check out the code. You can fork it, which means make your own copy. So that's the power of Replit. And yeah, so when you're following along in our other videos, you can use Replit to write code. And you can paste in our examples, you can go to our Replit links. And yeah, that's all for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.